Alright, so a little situation update on what I got going on. So I replaced the coil. I checked the points. Everything looks to be good. There is spark. I can't quite get the timing light to flash on spark plug number 1 to check the timing mark. But the coil is sparking on timing light. So I think just the RPM is pretty low while cranking, so I'm unable to get it to trigger or to trigger the timing light. So my goal here is I'm going to pull the plugs, test the compression. I think it's fairly low, but make sure everything's at least even. I'm going to add some two-stroke oil into all the cylinders, crank it a few times. Hopefully that helps build some stronger compression. Check the compression again, make sure everything looks good, clean the plugs, and hopefully get it to fire up. I still haven't resealed the water pump housing, so my goal is to hopefully get it to fire and build a little bit of confidence in this engine and go from there. So wish me some luck. All right, so it looks like they're all fairly consistent, but it's all pretty low. So it's maybe 20-ish. I'm not sure how well you can see it on camera, but somewhere between 15 and 20 psi, which is crazy low, but I'm hoping to put a little two-stroke in there and see if it fires up. I'm not sure what's going on. If the cam timing's off, it would explain the low compression, but at least on the video, kind of slow motion shot, it looks like it should be pretty close to being right. So, all right, put a little bit of oil on down the cylinders, crank it some time, and see if I can get. I'm hoping at least 60 psi. It probably should be enough to kind of get it to fire. So we'll see. All right, so it seems like the oil is helping build compression. So kind of highest I've seen is. I call that maybe 45, 50. Yeah, it's a big spread now. Everything before was about maybe 15 to 30. Now it's between 30 to 45. So yeah, I guess it's more or less double. I'm not sure how accurate this compression gauge is, but it's still fairly on the low side. I'm gonna let the starter cool off, and I'm debating whether I should try starting it or add a little bit more oil, but I feel like I should try starting it first before I add too much oil, because then it's going to be a pain to burn it off. I'm using two-stroke oil because it's designed to burn, versus typical motor oil is not. So hopefully that avoids too much carbon buildup. But yeah, so I put everything back together, let the starter cool off, and maybe try to give it a go, see if I can get it fired up. But the fact that I'm seeing 45-ish, 50 gives me a little bit more confidence that hopefully the cam timing is correct. So all right. All right, got everything put back together, ignition wired up, and I guess round 2, trying to fire it up. I did notice there's no fuel getting to the carb. So I'm going to troubleshoot that next, but I am really hoping I can at least get it to cough and fire up for a few seconds on the starter fluid. And let's see. There you go. That's something. So at this point, it's about as close as I can get to firing it up. Ended up changing the condenser, checking the points gap, everything was good. Ended up actually installing the CDI system I had, floating around to see if we can get a stronger spark would help, and it didn't. Right, so this view looks familiar again. Just like life, 2 step backwards, 1 step forward, or is it 2 step forwards, 1 step backwards? Hard to tell. Here we are. My original suspicion a few weeks ago was that the valve timing was off. I've done everything troubleshooting wise to prove otherwise. And yeah, I'm kind of going back to my original thought that valve timing is off. I can't get the engine fired up. Compression's abnormally low. Kind of visually inspecting the valve closure, along with I use some wire in the cylinder to kind of measure the piston position. And yeah, the intake valves are just closing too late, which is what results I think in low compression. So my goal here is kind of take things apart a bit, access the cam chain, or yeah, the cam chain and crank, and ideally confirm that the valve timing's off, put it into the correct position, test compression. I assume it should be kind of nominal compression, at least 100 plus. That checks out. Then I'll put things together, hopefully enough to fire it up by the end of this video. So alright, just like I suspected, the cam timing's off. So there's one dot, the other dot should be here, but in reality it's down here. So that's the reason for the low compression and unable to get the engine fired up. So I'm going to reset the valve timing, do a compression test. Hopefully compression's where I expect it to be, and put everything back together and hopefully fire it up.
So it kind of shows where the cam was aligned and where it should be.
Alright, so I realigned the cam. Hopefully the valve timing is correct. Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to align it on the driver's side, but it looks like whoever aligned it on the passenger side. So yeah, we'll see if I did it correctly. I should see some pretty healthy compression. Get this situated there. So I got everything wired up. Ignition's off, or spark is off, I should say. So let's see. Yeah, buddy. Definitely way better. Let's see if I can reposition this somehow. Time to clean up, and hopefully now it fires up. Alright, got everything put together. We've got some water in the system. Looks like no water leaks, so that's solved. And yeah, I think right now I'm just going to crank it. Make sure I can kind of see the oil come through the rocker arms. And then I'll connect the ignition system, and hopefully we can make some noise. Alright, there's oil coming down. So I think I'm good. I'm going to put the valve cover on, connect the ignition system, and let's try to make some noise. Alright, battery's a little weak, but I think I got the timing kind of close. According to ChatGPT, it's around 3 to 5 degrees top dead center, using a little video. So we'll see what we get.
So I'm just amazed of the progress of, I guess, AI technology. So in this video, you can see the intake valve opening, the compression stroke, and the spark. And then, yeah, essentially fed this to ChatGPT, and it estimated the ignition timing to be around 5 degrees before top dead center. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Not what I expected. That's connected, that's connected. Ooh, there we go. Pour a little bit of gasoline down the car. Haha, that's what I expected the first go around. Heck yeah. Alright, so I gotta troubleshoot why there's no gas getting pumped from the fuel pump. So do a little bit more troubleshooting, but that's pretty damn awesome. Round 2. Sounds good. Alright, that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. Just kidding, I'm back. Alright, so I've been trying to fix a bunch of little leaks. I discovered the plug on the rear for, it looks like the camshaft is missing. I didn't realize that, and yeah, so it's leaking oil. And then also, I'm not sure if you can hear it, but the rear freeze plug on the head is not sealing correctly and leaking water. So I think the best thing to do and the correct thing to do is pull the engine. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna try to do tomorrow, I guess, or maybe next weekend. I don't know. Kind of sucks when you're making progress and hopefully things are working well and then they're not. But yeah, I'm see if I can pull the engine transmission. It's a little tricky by myself, so that, or just park it for a bit and revisit it in a few weeks. But that's currently the situation. Thanks for watching.